All right, let's dive into a really fascinating cultural custom that many of us have run into, but maybe never really got the full story on. The whole rule about using red ink. Is it just some old superstition, or is there something, a little more to it? Let's find out.
Just think about it for a sec. Has a parent, or maybe a grandparent, or even a teacher ever stopped you, red pen in hand, and been like, whoa, don't do that? It's a surprisingly common experience for a lot of people. But why? What's the big deal?
The usual explanations we hear are pretty intense, aren't they? It's a curse, it'll bring you bad luck, or the really dark one, that it's like wishing death on someone. Honestly, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. And for most of us, that's where the explanation just stops.
But what if I told you the real reason is way less mystical, and actually a lot more social? In this explainer, we're going to unpack the idea that this isn't about superstition at all. Nope. It's all about sending a signal.
So here's how we should really think about it. On one side, you've got the misconception, right? The idea that this is some kind of spooky test of your belief in bad luck. But the reality? It's so much more about simple social dynamics. It's really just a subtle way of showing respect for the living. So it's less about ancient curses and way more about modern-day courtesy.
So what in the world is a respect signal? Well, it's just a non-verbal way to show you're being considerate in a social situation. Think of it like this. You don't put your feet up on someone's coffee table, right? It's not because you're worried the table is going to magically explode. You're just showing respect for that person and their space. The red ink rule, it works in the exact same way.
Okay, but it gets a little more specific. To really get this social signal, we have to understand that it's not some blanket ban on the color red. It is all about the context.
So the issue isn't you using a red pen to circle a date on your calendar. The social signal only gets triggered by a very specific combo, a living person's name written in red ink. Now, it's also true that this rule feels a little different depending on the generation. Younger folks might not see it as a huge deal, but honestly, choosing not to do it is still a super easy and effective way to show consideration, especially to people who do value the custom. It's just the safer, more respectful default.
So what does this all mean for you day to day? How do you navigate this without messing up? Well, good news. The answer is incredibly simple.
I just love this line from the source material. It says, "The safest practical rule is beautifully boring." And that just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures it. It doesn't have to be complicated or mysterious. The most respectful way to handle this is actually the most straightforward one.
And here it is, just 2 simple steps. Step 1, when you're writing a person's name, just stick to good old black or blue ink. And step 2, feel free to use your red pen for pretty much anything else. Underlining, making notes, circling things. As long as you avoid that specific name plus color combination we talked about, you're totally golden.
At the end of the day, the crucial point is this. When someone tells you not to use red ink for a name, they're not really testing your belief in curses. They're probably just sharing a little piece of social etiquette with you. It's a small gesture, sure, but it's one of awareness and respect in a shared culture.
And that kind of leaves us with a fun final thought to chew on. Now that we've decoded the red ink rule, what other simple social customs do we follow every day that might be mistaken for something way bigger or more mysterious than they really are? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.